spring gardening, one of the most important things you'll plant all season long is that front porch planter. It's the first thing people notice about your landscape and a perfect way to add a burst of color to the porch. And today, Marta Nielsen with Utah State University Extension Office is here to help us decide what plants will work best on your own front porch. So, Marta, what is the first thing to consider when you're thinking about a porch planter?
The first thing you want to consider is the big picture on what's going on with the sunlight on your porch. Is it shady? Is it shady in some of the day and sunny parts of the day? Do you have full sun in the afternoon? Really, that big picture of sunlight is your first thing.
Okay, and that's a big deal in Utah because the sun it really comes down, especially depending on which direction your porch faces. You brought a few different examples in of pots that work for other things.
Yes.
So let's walk me through these.
Okay, so first, that one in the colorful pot is going to be perfect for your full sun porch. So that's going to be like west facing, getting sun at the hottest part of the day.
Okay. So this is full sun. What are some of the flowers that you've put in here?
So that has some beautiful African daisies, it has marigolds, it has creeping jenny, sweet potato vine that will really spill over and get long and beautiful, and then that ornamental grass in the center.
Okay, and you're a big fan of this three-step formula that you told me a little bit about, and I love this because it kind of gives you a vision of what you need to do when you're attacking a planter. Tell us about that.
Right, so it can be overwhelming to figure out what to plant in your pot. So think of these three words: thrill, fill, and spill.
Thrill, fill, spill.
Yes.
We can do that.
Yeah, so your thriller is your tall plant.
Okay, so this is going to be on this pot. This is the thrill, right?
Right, then you have your filler plants, which will be like the marigolds and the daisies. And then you have your spilling plants that will trail over the edge and add a lot of texture and color. So that's creeping jenny. And then there's that sweet potato vine as well.
Okay, so that kind of, if we're going to buy these plants, now we know thrill, spill, fill.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the next that you brought.
Yes.
What is this one good for?
This is perfect for your shady north-facing or east-facing porch.
Okay, so if you're not getting a lot of sun, go for more of these kinds of plants. What do you have in here?
And notice there are no flowers, but it's still very full of color and texture.
It is. You've got some bright greens, you've got reds.
Yeah, so those leafy plants are actually all coleus plants, and they can tolerate a little bit of sun, but mostly they are shade lovers. And then there's a red spike in the middle for that thrill factor.
For the thrill factor. Okay, and you have one more potted.
Yes. So this one is perfect for your filtered sun. So if you have like a tree that's offering some shade, but you're still getting some sunlight in there. This one has hellebores, it has coral bells, it has your creeping jenny, and some ajuga in there as well.
Okay, so, and the coral bells, that's the red.
This is the coral bell, and it will get a flower.
And it does have kind of a nice purpley red to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the actual pots. What do we need to think about when we go to buy a pot to plant these in?
Okay, so there are a few things to consider. One is if you plan to plant perennial plants that are going to come back and you want to leave that pot outside, you need to make sure you're choosing one that can withstand our cold Utah winters. So like a plastic pot or a resin, or one that's made to withstand those freezing temperatures.
Okay, that's a great suggestion. And then what about keeping the plants from overheating?
Okay, so west facing, like I was saying, that gets that really hot sun in the afternoon. So you want to make sure to choose a light colored pot because that will reflect that light and protect those roots from getting overheated. Okay,
good recommendation. I wouldn't have thought of that, a light colored pot. What about the watering? That's another question that a lot of people have with these planted pots.
Yes.
How much water does it need?
So that you can't just say water it every day or water it once a week. You really have to monitor how much moisture your plant is getting, because it could be dry on the top and the roots could still be wet, or it could be dry all the way through. So there are a few things that you can do. You can get a moisture meter, which we have one here to show, that will give you that hard number of the level of moisture in your soil. And that will tell you exactly when you should water. And if you have west facing, that might be twice a day. If you have north facing, it might be not every day. It might be a couple times a week.
So this is kind of the foolproof way to say, oh no, I know this has enough water.
Exactly.
That's a great suggestion. Now we're going to plant.
Yes.
You're going to show me how to do this.
Yes.
All right, let's break it down. What do we need to start with?
So I brought kind of a fun thing to show you. You don't have to do flowers on your porch. You can do a little potted garden. So I have a little pizza garden to show.
Fun, really fun. Okay.
So the first thing you think of with pizza is tomatoes, right?
Always tomatoes.
So this is a San Marzano tomato plant. That's your really wonderful Roma, Italian Roma tomato.
Okay, and we're starting with kind of a base. We've got some
Yes.
soil in the plant already, just to
Yes.
kind of show.
Potting soil. You want to
Okay,
make sure
potting
you're
soil.
not getting dirt from your yard.
Okay, so
Get a
go
nice
ahead and
potting soil.
get the potting soil.
Just kind
I'm
of
gonna put
breaking
this
that
in.
soil up. Okay, then I've got a pepper plant, and this is a spicy pepper, but you could
Oh,
do banana peppers, bell peppers, whatever suits your taste. So just kind of snug that down in there. Okay.
And so are we going with a thrill, spill, fill with this as well?
This is more of a
the tomatoes kind of a-
utilitarian garden.
Okay, that works too. We all like fresh veggies.
It will be beautiful with those red tomatoes. These are Walla Walla onions,
Okay.
so they're a little bit sweeter that you can put in there. And you could do the same concept with like a salsa garden on your porch. You just switch out the herbs. This is oregano,
Oregano.
so you can smell that.
Oh yeah.
It smells good.
Oh, it smells so good.
So for a salsa garden, you'd want to do cilantro and
That's a fun idea.
and
So
with
either
your
a pizza
tomatoes.
garden or a salsa garden.
Yeah.
People love homemaking salsa. I love homemade
yes,
salsa. So that is
so
a
good.
fun idea.
For these productive gardens that are producing fruit, you just want to make sure that you've got a good amount of sunlight. And maybe it's on your back porch instead of your front porch.
Awesome. And what is this?
This is parsley.
Okay, so we've got
You're
parsley.
looking to get your tomato
And
sauce
this is
going.
the planter. You can see it's like growing. It looks really full and pretty.
Yes, and here's our basil.
And basil.
So once you tuck all those in, then you just fill around with your potting soil. That will have the optimum drainage and moisture retention for your potted plants.
Okay, so the potting soil. Marta, where can people find out more?
Yes, so we have so many great online resources at garden.usu.edu, and we even have some brand new online gardening courses that you can find there.
Very cool. Thank you so much. What a great garden.